These are 3 hard-earned jewels that'll save you blood, sweat, and tears. We have to learn them the long way. You don't have to.
1, 2.
It's 3 the hard way.
Giving hard feedback, to me, like, there's an art to it, but I tend to ask them. First of all, are they asking me for feedback? I want to know that first, right? Like, do you really want that feedback from me? If the answer is yes, then okay, cool. We're gonna have this discussion. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. I'm gonna understand where you're coming from. What are you trying to accomplish? And then I'll mold my feedback to help get that person there. I don't think you can solve everybody's problems without letting them experience it. You know, like, we all have to bump our heads. We all have to actually feel negative feelings sometimes. Otherwise, we won't understand or value the positive ones. Sometimes it's worth it, and sometimes it's necessary to let them figure it out. Man, I think every parent struggles with that one. All you can do, I think, as somebody that cares about another person that might go through a tough situation, is be there for them. And if they're willing to listen, cool. You can share that information with them. But phrase, you can't make the horse drink. You know, you can only take them to the water. It's that kind of situation. I think when you're trying to critique work of, and doesn't just have to go for somebody that's more senior to you, but maybe it's somebody that you're just not familiar with, or a project that you don't have all the details for, I would say ask more questions. So find out why they made the decisions they made, how long did they have, what is the environment that they're working in like. All of those little details matter. And then just kind of tread softly and try not to rip the Band-Aid off so quickly. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Just keep in mind that usually creatives aren't in total control of what they're putting out. So they have to figure out ways to put out the strongest creative. Sometimes it could be financially limiting, and then other times it could be time that's against the creative. So trying to find out what the details are before trying to give any feedback or criticism, I think, is key, especially when trying to give your perspective to somebody that's more senior to you. I think it really just depends on the rapport of the manager and the designer. Let's say there's a manager and they have somebody that's designing a UI for them. The deadline might have shifted and they need the designer to stay late. There's a rapport, right? So like, let's say they know that the designer picks up their child at any given time, right? 5 o'clock. So that would be all expected within the conversation. And so, hey designer, I know you have to go pick up your child, but we're gonna need to stay late tonight, so could you come back after that? That's one way of being direct. Another way could be, hey, we're gonna have to stay late tonight, and then leave an openness for the conversation. I think there's a big difference between being direct and being blunt. Somebody blunt would be kind of like, this has to go out tomorrow, you're gonna need to stay late, let me know if you need anything, and they're out. And maybe when 5 o'clock comes and that report isn't there, they're running around screaming like, hey, where's blah, blah, blah? Why haven't they, they're supposed to be here working late. Why aren't they? Well, if they would have had the conversation with the designer, they would have known that the designer was leaving and coming back, right? So I think the bluntness is just like, there's a carelessness to everything that kind of heightens the stress level for everybody unnecessarily. In my past, like, I think my designers know me, and because sometimes I could be moving too quickly, they feel open enough though to have that conversation with me. It's never like, well, I said this, so that's what's gonna go. And no. Like, everybody's still a human. We know we still have lives outside of the office. So they can always have that conversation with you.